Hi guys, so it's been a little while since I've been working on this Epiphone SG, um, and the main reason for that is because I was awaiting some parts, and it took a little longer for those parts to arrive. Um, but last time we picked up, I had just leveled the frets and recrowned them, and of course now it's time to polish up the frets and just take out the scratches that both the sanding beam and the crowning file has left. So I'm going to take you through that, and once that is done, we're going to of course take off all of the masking tape and the protection tape down here on the body, and we're going to install the pickup rings again and the hardware tailpiece and bridge, and then I'm going to have a look at a new knot here, and the knot here is probably going to be a tusk knot that I bought, and the other thing that I bought was a Tone Pros Tune-o-matic bridge, because the original bridge that was on this guitar here, as you can see, it's just a standard Epiphone bridge, and well, this guitar was quite hard to actually intonate and keep in tune, but of course that's not always the bridge fault, but I really like the Tone Pros bridge because they have a little bit wider intonation range, and it's always a great update from the stock tailpiece and bridge. So going to put on the new knot also and the new bridge, and then I'm going to take a look at the control and the electronics, because sometimes the pickup selector is cutting out, just cutting the sound, and I don't know if that's because of some corrosion or some tear out or something like that, so I might have to spray a little of contact spray sorry about that, to try and see if that's going to solve the problem, and if not, then I have bought an electronics kit to replace if anything should go wrong. So yeah, let's get cracking on with the polishing here. As always, I'm going to start with a 400 grit paper here, and as you all know, I'm just going to wrap it around my finger, and I'm going to run it up and down the fingerboard. And as I've said all the other times, we have to go in and take a look at the scratches and just pay attention to any scratches that we've missed. Yeah, and it's starting to look alright. The scratches are out of the frets, so we can then move on to the next, which is 600 grit. And again, we just want to check that all the scratches are out. and it looks very nice. So I'm just going to take a piece of tape here and just tape down this part down here. It's getting in the way. Alright, so from here we're just going to move to 800 grit. Just take a look again here, see if all the scratches are gone. That's just starting to look very nice. Then we move up to 1000 grit. Yeah, it's starting to look very good. And of course, just keep in mind that you don't have to go crazy with the sanding paper. Even though that it is finer grits, if you do it too excessively, it's just going to cause you further problems. Last step, 1200 grit. These threads are looking really shiny on the top. Yeah, they're looking really good, and of course from here it's all optional, because you could, if you have some sheets of micro mesh papers, then you could continue moving from the 1200 here up to 1500 and then all the way up to 12,000. So sometimes I use the micro mesh papers to buff and polish up the threads even more. But it kind of depends on the situation and the amount of time that I have. But if you don't have the micro mesh papers or into spending that much time on it, then you can always go out and buy some polishing compound. And I've found a particular product that I find to be really good, and it's called Autosol, and it's actually a polishing compound for cars, but you can use it on almost any kind of metal. And this is really it's both going to take all of that nasty grime or corrosion or sweat left on the threads, and it's also going to polish up the whole thread itself. So I like to use that after I've finished with the 1200 grit sandpaper here, as you saw, and generally just dabbing a couple of drops on it here, and either using a Q-tip or just applying it to a cloth and then just dabbing it on. And you can either dab it on a couple of threads at a time and buff them out and continue, or you can just dab it on all the threads and just get right in there. And of course I'm going to do this on this particular guitar too, so you'll see me do that. So I just have to find the tube. So I'll be back, guys. Hi guys, so it's time now to polish up the threads here, because we've just polished up the threads using the finer grits of sandpaper. So now it's time to bring out an even brighter and smoother shine on these threads. So for this I actually use a polishing compound for cars actually, and the brand is called Autosol. So this is basically just a metal chrome polish, a compound that you can buy at your local Home Depot or anything like that, hardware store, automobile store, and we're just going to use this with a Q-tip to apply it to the threads and a rag here to buff it out with. So let me just take you in here, guys, so you can see what's actually going on. Just like that. And I'll just take the Q-tip and basically just put a decent amount on the Q-tip, and then just apply it to the thread. And the good thing here is that we have still masked off the fretboard. So if we get a little on the sides, there should be no problem. We can always wipe that off when the tape gets off. So right now I just want to cover 5 threads, and that is just going to make it easier, just to take a couple of threads at a time. So that's 5 threads. And then I'll just take my rag here, fold it over a couple of times, and then just start buffing the compound out. So I basically just start by going from the middle out and then just all over. And your cloth will basically look like this. So, and that's just perfectly fine because you just removed corrosion, dirt, basically just anything like that. Sorry for the shaky camera here, but in order to show you guys, I basically have to place my camera right on the bench. So. And then we just basically want to take another side here and just buff it out again. So I'm just going to buff out these threads here so I can show you how shiny they actually get. So if we zoom in a little bit here, you should be able to see just how shiny these threads are. That angle isn't really doing anything here. Let me just try and do something else. Yeah, just right there. You can actually see how shiny they are. And basically that's what we're looking for when we're polishing our threads here. So the remaining threads here is going to turn out just great. And I'm just going to continue on doing the remaining threads here, and after that I'll be back and we'll take off the masking tape, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so all of the threads are buffed up now with the polishing compound, and as you can see here, these threads are looking very, very, very shiny. And they're going to be so smooth to play. So that's just great. And I'm just going to peel off the masking tape now because we don't really need that. We're finished with all the fret work. So the next episode here is going to be about cleaning the fretboard itself because it needs that. It will involve some scraping of the fretboard itself and basically some oiling of the fretboard too to kind of condition the wood, because we're going to scrape off a little bit of material, and by doing that we're going to make the fretboard itself a little bit lighter in color. So by conditioning and oiling it, we're going to bring back that darker, nicer color to the wood. So cleaning the fretboard will be the next part here. So yeah, I'll see if I can get that done the next couple of days, guys. So until then, stay tuned and thanks for watching.